Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Best in Slot, and tonight we're going to talk about some potential Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom news. Now, obviously there's going to be minor, possibly minor spoilers in this video, so if you do want to avoid that, you should, not be here in the first place, because that's very silly. And before we get started, I want to credit two people for the introduction of this image via their Instagram accounts. This is JPJeep29 and JPXP04. Those two up there. I'll keep those up there for the entire video. If you want to go check out their accounts, you can do that via Instagram. Basically, they put up an image that they'd obtained, assumedly, from the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom set of a Explorer Jeep. And I'm going to bring up that image for you guys now, just the same size and stuff that they uploaded. And there it is on the right-hand side. There you go, nice big, there you go, just in case you missed it somehow. Now, this isn't the most exciting image on its own, but what people instantly started to think was maybe this is the exact same Jeep that Tim and Grant kind of had to run away from and ended up inside during Jurassic Park 1. Now, we've already seen, let's get rid of that, we've already seen throughout Jurassic World that they're okay banking on that nostalgia a little bit. We had the scene in the visitor center and the T-Rex smashing through the Spinosaurus skeleton and stuff like that. They don't mind making little references back to the original film, and since we know Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is yet again going to be on Isla Nublar, the setting of the first film, little things like this seem quite likely. You would see some damage or some aspects of the first film still remaining on the island, especially now that Jurassic World itself, the theme park, has been abandoned and the dinosaurs are assumedly once again roaming across the island. So I'm going to bring up this image here. We'll blow these up again in a second, a little bit bigger. I've had to brighten this quite a lot, but that's about as close a comparison as we're going to get. Now, is this the same car? That is what we're trying to answer today. It's interesting to note straight away that they are both somewhat, oh, that's a little bit iffy, but they're both somewhat at an angle in how they're lying, because it's propped up against a tree a little bit, and it is the same sort of side. That's the front of the car, that's the front of the car, and that's the one that's getting pushed upwards, like so. How detailed is this? The tyres are there, the tyres are there. The tyres look maybe a tiny bit different, but not really, they're quite similar. The only problem is, this back right tyre has been ripped off basically, but we can't see that on the photo. It would probably be around here, and it may well just be entirely covered by the overgrowth in the area. There is a tree right there, which isn't really there on this image. The tree should be more sort of, based on where that's leaning, the tree should be sort of here. But given that the park's been abandoned for so long, and this is the middle of a rainforest, it's very possible that a tree has, well, that this is basically just more growth that's emerged from the tree that would be in this sort of area over here on the main image. Let's bring up some bigger pictures so we can have another look. I think it's a very cool little thing. I think they're very similar. I think they're too similar for it to not meant to be, at least, the same thing. Now, whether they get every aspect and every detail of that correct is another matter, but I think this is a pretty sure sign that these two are meant to be the same car, which is really cool. I love these little throwbacks to the original Jurassic Park. Some people aren't big on the nostalgia, but as long as it doesn't overpower the film, as long as it isn't a major aspect, then I don't really see the harm in it. I think this is actually really pretty cool. What it tells us in terms of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom plot is less clear. What I'm hoping is that it maybe we're going to get a nice little glimpse at the Tyrannosaurus paddock. Maybe Rexy, having escaped from Jurassic World, the actual theme park, as we saw at the end of Jurassic World, the first film. She was, standing out there on her own. She'd been released by Claire. Maybe Rexy returns to her original paddock. That's home to Rexy, there's no reason in particular she'd want to wander around the entire island. Like a dog on something, when you drop it off a mile away from its home, or a pigeon, they tend to make their way back home. And there's really no reason to think a dinosaur, particularly one that doesn't need to migrate for food as much, like say some herding herbivores would, but a carnivore like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, I don't see a reason it wouldn't want to return home, why it wouldn't have a place it considers home, and why it wouldn't be capable of making it back there. We know dinosaurs became birds, basically, and birds have a naturally very good sense of direction and have a habit of returning home. So it'll be interesting to see if where they find Rexy in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, based on this image, based on the fact that, this is very close to the T-Rex paddock, so it suggests they're going to go back there to that specific area. This maybe means that is where they're going to find Rexy. She's going to have returned home, and that's where they're going to have to rescue her from, which I think would be really cool and a nice way to say goodbye to the island. Guys, let me know in the comments down below, do you think it's the same car? I think it's pretty much inevitable that it is, but whether they've got it perfectly is another matter, but it's very cool to see. Hopefully we get a really cool scene at the T-Rex paddock. Thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye.